Okay, now we're going to do the same problem that we've been working on, except this time we're going to do Department 2. And I'm hoping I can get through both of them because, like I said, there's not a lot of difference. If you understand the first two, this is a continuation of them. Okay, so I won't spend much time on this because, again, this section will be given. So in this case, it was 3,200. And now this is 36,800. Now that one's not given, because this is the one, remember, you transferred out 36,800 from Department 1. So if you look back on Department 1, you should have transferred in then 36,800 from this one. And this is 2,600 and 37,400. And again, these two cells have to equal each other. Okay, so this is the one you have to watch. You go back and see, what did we get before? What did we transfer out from Department 1? And this is going to be 37,400 all the way across. Now I also have a new column here that you probably noticed that a lot of books don't have, and that is the transferred in column. The transferred in column is exactly that. That's what you transferred in from the previous department, okay? Which is also what you transferred out. So you transferred in 37,400, completed them, so transferred them out. Okay. Now again, this is 3,200 is what we want to do this month. So it's 3,200 all the way across. It'd be faster just to type it in. Okay. Again, we subtract them. So that gives you 34,200, just like we did before. And that will be the same number all the way across, because that's where the similarities stop. Okay, this is what you needed. Remember, this is FIFO, so this is what you needed to complete what you had started. Well, the transferred in will always be 0, because you never have to, if you have to do anything to complete them, then you shouldn't have had them. Okay, now in this case, the material is also going to be 0 because it's 100% completed. And on the example I gave you, is 40% of the materials added at the beginning, and the rest of it's added when labor is 70% completed. Well, labor is 75% completed, so that means 100% of the materials in there. Okay. The amount needed to complete beginning units in process, again, we take the beginning units here times 1 minus the percentage already started, which was 75%, so take off minus 0.25, and that gives us 800 units that we need to finish them up. Okay, for the factory overhead, we do the same thing. It's the 3,200 times 1 minus the 85% in this case. So we need 15% to finish them up, or 480. Okay, the ending units in process, the transferred in, will always be 100% completed. Okay, now in this case, the material is 2,600, but it's 40% when labor is 70%. Well, labor is only 40%, 45%, so that means material is only 40% completed. And this is equal to the 2,600 times 0.45, and this one is equal to the 2,600 times the 0.55. Okay. Okay, now the material is a little different on this one because it was added at different points. It was 40% when it was started, and the balance was added when labor was 70% completed, and labor is only 45% completed, so that's why it isn't completed. And again, so you just add those three numbers up, 36,800. And 35,240, and 36,110, and so forth. Okay. Now this is the beginning working process. This is the from beginning working process. So this is 307,050. Okay. Now how I got that was simply taking, I'll do it this way, equal 17,650 plus 55,200 plus 75,600 plus 158,600. which is 307,050. It's some of your beginning units in process. The costs transferred in are given 183,500. Oh, no. The cost transferred in is you have to look it up, and that's 1,685,291, and that should be from Department 1. And this is 183,500 for material, 795,600, and 954,720, for a total of 3,926,000. Oops, I had to redo that because again, make sure that it gets to the top. Okay, 3,926,161. Okay, now the equivalent units will be the 36,800, 35,240, 36,170, and 36,110. Okay, so then we give equal the round. You take the total here, divided by the 36,800, comma. Now this is for 3 decimal places, and then all you have to do is copy that down. Okay, and then do the auto sum for 99,438. Now, from transferred out, we have from beginning work in process, that's that total right there. So that's all we need there. Amount needed to complete. Now you notice on this one, I leave out the transferred in because like I said, that will never ever be one you need, but you need this row here times the 5,207, and for the labor, it's the 800 times the 21,996, and for overhead, it's the 480 times the 26,439, and we add that up. We add those numbers up there to give us 337. Started and completed, that's the 34,200 times the 99,438, and I'll use the round function on this one also. And again, there'll be 0 decimal places on this one. So, okay, so it's 3,400,780. So the total transferred out will be those two numbers added together, or 3,738,000. Now, more than likely, that's going to go to finished goods in this one. Okay, for the work in process, we use this last row like we did before, 26,600 times the 45, and again, because it's some weird, I'm using 3 decimal places, I need to carry it to, okay, equal round. Okay, this is for the labor, which is the 1040 times the 5.207. And for the, that's for material. For labor, sorry, I think I said labor last time, that's the 1170 times the 21,996. And for the overhead, you take, what is it, we had 1430 times the, I did something, I don't know what I did. Okay, try this again. Equal round. Okay, the 1430 times the 26,0. Yeah, I don't know what I did, but I did something, didn't I? Okay. This is the summation of those numbers added up, just like before. 188, and then you sum these two totals up, and see we're rounding to the nearest bottom here. And again, this total has to equal that total, and if it doesn't equal, it's simply the difference between the two for a rounding error, which is $15. So that's not too bad. That's pretty close. Okay. Okay, what I did on the weighted average of Department 2 is I went ahead and filled some of this information in because this is exactly like we did before. Remember, the 36.8 has to come from what you transferred out. And then the transferred out units is at 37,400. So the ending units in process now will be equal. Remember, the transferred in is always 100%, so that's times 1. The material is the 2,600 times 0.4, because remember it was 40%, just like we did before. And this one is the 45% completed, and this one was 55% completed. Remember, it's the ending units in process, just like we had before. And then you just simply add these up. That gives you the 40,000. Auto sum is 38,840 and 38,830 and 38,570. Okay, so that's okay. Now this one I left blank because everything else was given to you. This one comes from the weighted average transferred out. So what you should have had, you go back to Department 1 and you look at it and you'll find that one. And let's try that again. Gotta add those two together to get the totals. Okay. Now the equivalent units again is what we calculated up here. So that's 40,000. And that's 38,440. 38,570. And 38,330. Okay, so we have equal. This should be the round function. You have this 1,840,000 divided by the number of units, comma, this is for the 3 decimal places, and gives you 46,031. Now what I do on this one, I know it's kind of cheating, but that's okay. You copy it down and just get rid of the numbers you don't want. That's easier than trying to do everything else. Do them one at a time. Okay, so it gives you 99,857. Okay, remember, this set of numbers here is given to you. That one's given. That one you look at Department 1 for the weighted average method, what was transferred out. And your total costs, you need again to add those up. And okay, it gives you 3,923,513. Okay, transferred out. It's equal. Number of units transferred out. I'll just use that number times my total, and again I didn't use the round like I should have, and this is 0 decimals on this one, and again I forgot, come on mouse, where'd you go? Okay, I forgot the comma before I did the 0. Okay, no biggie. Okay, direct materials equal, oops, let's not do that. Let's go up 1. Cost from preceding department. Okay, it's equal, ROUND. Preceding department, that was transferred in, that's the 2,600, times the 46,0, okay, equal, round, that's the 1040, times, this is the material cost, comma 0, okay, equal, round, this is the 1170 times the 22, comma 0, and last one for the factory overhead is the 1430 times the 26, comma 0, and then you just simply add these up like so, and then you add those two up, and remember this has to equal that total right there, and then this is simply the difference between the two, and it's all $15, and that is the weighted average for Department 2.